Hello and welcome to Tricks of the Earth Trade channel. Today is the 11th of June 2017, and today's video we have Aly Raisman. We'll just call her she for now. She's a gymnast. She's won a lot of Olympic medals, even with the last one was a co-gymnast as well with the Simone Biles, which we already have a video on, and that's about it for now. But as we get into actually doing the investigation, which I'll show you with pictures and facts, you'll find out that Aly Raisman is actually a woman. Even the name Aly Raisman, raised a man. The name, even, I mean, it's just crazy how the Vatican thinks that they can play mind games on people even with the names. Alexander Raisman, although she's called supposedly Alexandra, raised a man. Does it make sense? So that just goes to show you that these people are manufactured products. Like I usually say, that the Vatican, right, manufactures kids, takes young children at very tender ages before they can reach the age in which they can make a decision to say they want to leave the hoax or fantasy of being a gender that's different from the gender that we're born with. These children are forcefully castrated and mutilated, as the case may be, and fed hormones and made to live a life that's horrible. you know so that's that for now. See, I want to give thanks to a great sub who made me actually double check on this particular two people, being Simone Biles and Aly Raisman, because I had taken just a faint look at them, and I answered in the comment section to him that these people were actually female. But on second thought, I told him, okay, hold on a second, let me go and double check before I give you the wrong assertions, because I did it a long time ago. It was just one round of check. It wasn't nothing serious. So I want to thank the scribe for bringing this to my attention. So I thank him again, all right, because I would have passed this and would have never gone to look back at it, even though if I would have just passed it on and just thought, okay, they're probably female, but they're not, they're dudes. So I want to thank the scribe especially for that. So before I get into the video, like I usually say, if it's your first time on our channel, all right, and you're watching videos on this channel, I advise that you pause the video right here. Pause the video right here, please, and go look for the primer video. Watch the primer video, and I'll show you in a minute how to get to the primer video. So let me show you how to get to the primer video. What you need to do is, when you get to the channel, go look for the video that's called primer. All right, please watch the video, because if you don't watch this video, a lot of the stuff that I'm saying to you is not gonna make any sense. This is like a foundation, a primer. That's why I call it the primer, so you can understand other stuff, so you won't be asking questions or making comments when I probably have answered it on the primer video. So I want you to get the basis right before you watch any other video on our channel, because if you get the basis right, then you tend to understand a lot of what I'm going to be saying. All right, so please do that. And also, when you click on any video, like for example, you click on the primer video, there's a document attached to every video that we make, and that's an example that I'm trying to show you right here. Okay, so when you pause, when you get to the video, all right, when you get to the video pane and you watch it, there is a link in the description section. So just click on the link. It's going to take you to a document, and this is a document. It will show you the visual differences between male and female. So these things, I want everybody to be educated about it, so you can make your own transvestigation without asking me any questions, because this is something you ought to know. It's very, very simple. It's not rocket science, as the Vatican wants you to believe, that you can distinguish between male and female. It's stuff you see every day on every male and female. Okay, so I want you to study this document also. It's about 44 pages long, but I guarantee you it will take you 30 minutes to go through it, because it just has a lot of pictures, and it'll show you the visual differences between male and female. So when you're done with all of that, then you can come back and continue watching this video. Now, this particular video that you're watching, it's like a series. So I'm continuing what I'm saying on this video from the Shakira video and the Simone Biles video, and now it's the Aly Raisman video. So it's a continuation. So if you wanted to get up on speed on what I'm saying, all right, you have to watch those two videos that I just named preceding this video. The Shakira video first, then the Simone Biles video, then you can now watch this particular one, the Aly Raisman video. All right. So before I get into the video, like I usually say and always say, that even though we feature a lot of transgenders on our channel, the channel is not a transgender or transvestigation channel. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. All right. Well, the reason why we show you transgenders is because the the reason we're trying to show you, it's more like when you look at a tree. All right. Let's say you walk down the street and you see a tree. You can't tell what kind of tree that is until you see the fruits. All right. Is when you see the fruits, then you understand, okay, this tree is maybe an apple, an orange, or whatever tree that it might be. It's from the fruits of the tree that you know what the tree is. So the transgenders are the fruits that you see. The tree itself, the root of the tree, the stem, the leaves, is the Vatican. That's what I want you to understand. So what we are trying to show you is trying to make you connect the dots so you understand the reason why transgenders are possible and why they appear in places of power and authority in our world. Okay? So that's why you need to watch the primer video. It's very, very important. So even though we feature a lot of transgenders, we are not against transgenders. We're not against anybody who wants to live the alternative lifestyle, because we were not given any such authority. We can't judge someone, all right? Because like I've said always, if you want to judge someone, you have to have the authority to judge the person. When you go to a court of law, right, and the judge judges you, is because he's been given authority over you to judge you. And it's also noted, it's also assumed that what the lawyer or the judge is judging you for, that he's not committing that same crime. So if you're a thief, you can't judge someone else that's a thief. Okay? So that's what all we're trying to say. We have no authority to judge anybody, because God gave everybody the right to live their lives any type of way, and he will remain the judge. What here we're trying to expose is the fact that there is an organization in place put by the Vatican. They have the hospitals, the surrogacy centers, the media, right, given to taking young children or manufacturing them, as the case may be, and putting them in the public sphere of contact in your world, because they want to use these people to control your mind. Because like I've said, if you can't control someone's mind, you can't control the person. The mind is the most important thing. So all this is about control, controlling you, because you are the greatest assets in the world. All right? Real money is assets, and the greatest assets are human beings. So it's about control, mind control, controlling your perception, because if you can't control someone's mind, you can't control the person. All right? So before I go any further, I would also like to say that this particular video, I'm going to talk about the Bible. And I'm going to read some portions from the Bible and explain some things, because like I've said, this is a continuation of the Shakira video and the Simone Biles video. So if you do not like the Bible, especially the two Bibles that I do recommend that you should read, the King James Bible, the one that says the authorized King James Bible, not the New King James, the one that says King James Bible, then you should stop the video right here and do not continue on. Otherwise, you're going to hate it. All right? Another Bible that I do recommend, which the Vatican has made very, very unpopular because it contained notes about it, specifically making you understand how to study the Bible with a lot of great cross references, is the Geneva Bible, which predates the King James Bible. If I were you, I would get this the 1599 King James. I'm sorry, the 1599 Geneva Bible, or you can get the 1560 edition also. But the 1560 edition has taken out the books of the Apocrypha. All right, so you won't have those 14 missing books. If you get the King James Bible, you have to get the 1611 King James Bible to get the Apocrypha also. So even though the Geneva Bible, the 1599 version of it, is written in olden days English, but I guarantee you will still understand what those people, the early church reformers, the people who started the Protestant Reformation, all right, which broke up the Roman Catholic kingdom, wrote about way back about 500 years ago about what the Vatican truly is. That is the reason why the Counter Reformation, which the Roman Catholic Church started, is being made to make sure that you do not understand what the contents of the Bibles are by putting false preachers. It doesn't matter if his name is T.D. Jakes. It doesn't matter if his name is Kenneth Copeland. It doesn't matter if his name is Joel Osteen. It doesn't matter if his name is Creflo Dollar. I mean, there are so many of them. They are all Freemasons made to lie and deceive you so that you don't understand the true content of the Bible. But if you pick up the Geneva Bible, I guarantee you, your eyes will be open, because the notes in there will show you, will tell you what you're actually studying. And when I say pick up the Geneva Bible, don't go for the app in the App Store. Go get a hard copy. Google it online. Get it. Buy it. It's going to be expensive, but it'll do you a world of good. So if you do not like the Bible, and you're one of those people who actually believes that the Bible has been tampered with by Jesuits and all that, but I'm guaranteeing you that these two Bibles, the Geneva Bible and the King James Bible, have not been tampered with. The only thing they have done so that you could understand the full meaning of these two Bibles is that they've taken out the books of the Apocrypha, 14 books in all, from both the Geneva Bible and the King James Bible. But if you get the 1611 King James Bible edition, or you get the Geneva Bible, the 1599 edition, you will get those 14 books, and you will get the proper cross references and the notes that those early church reformers who started the Protestant Reformation wrote about, so you can truly understand what's going on. All right, those are the books, those are the Bible editions that I do recommend. All right, so because right now a lot of people don't even know what it means to be Protestant. Someone will tell you I'm protesting, but what are you protesting? To be Protestant meant you were protesting against the Roman Catholic Kingdom, the Vatican. But people don't know that nowadays anymore. They are just religious folks with no clue. All right. So if you do not like the Bible, you have to stop this video specifically at this point and don't continue on, because it's going to be brutal truth and it's going to hurt you and you may not like it. And that's the warning on this particular video. Now, another thing before I start the video properly and talk about what I want to say is that there are channel rules in effect. So if you're new, a subscriber, or you're an agent, or whatever the case might be, because there are people who are piling around on this channel for whatever reasons, and they've come in with all the filth that they've watched from a lot of other YouTube transvestigation channel on here. They haven't weaned themselves all of that. All right. So on this channel, if you're gonna label someone a transgender, and you're gonna say he or she is a transgender, or he or she is not what she's saying, or he or she is not what he's saying, what you have to say, you have to put your arguments and show me facts. And those facts have to be centered around the differences between male and female, in the fact that the female skeletal structure is designed to give birth, right? And the male skeletal structure is not. Those differences lie in a tilted pelvis for a female, a wide pubic arch for a female, an arch in the spine, the hips below the crotch. That is the design. That's what distinguishes between a male and a female. One is designed to give birth and the other is not. Finger indexes, index rings, or long arms, shoulder ratios, hip ratios, skulls do not give birth. They are not defining. They're subjective. You only use the subjective facts to support the definitive. It's not the other way around. You can't use defining facts to support subjective facts. So if you're going to make a comment on the channel and say something or argue about a transgender, you have to make sure that you have the defining facts. All right? If not, those comments are going to be blocked, removed, so you can't make any further comments on here. Those are the channel rules. The reason why the channel rules are in place is because there is a lot of deluded people. This channel is not dedicated to delusion. is dedicated to real education, not indoctrination or miseducation or disinformation, like a lot of YouTube channels have been programmed to do and programmed by the Vatican to feed you lies. So it looks like rocket science, fake science, that you can't distinguish between male and female. It's simple. You just have to look at the document that we have and go look at females and males around you. If you can find someone who can strip for you, if you can't find anybody, let them do it. And you see what I'm saying. You see this in yourself. So it doesn't sound like I'm just talking. I'm not an agent of confusion. All right? So that's what I want you guys to do. Make sure that your comments, when you're labeling someone a transgender, please, 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 that you're talking about the defining features, not the subjective. All right? So thank you very much for at least adhering to these rules and being great subs. So with that, let me get into something I just wanted to talk about before I get to Aly Raisman. All right. Now, if you notice that in today's news, you find that there's a lot of terrorism. All right. A lot of fear, propagation of fear. All right. During the 25-point plan, besides the Protocols of Zion, which was written by the Vatican's people, all right, in which they wanted to start the Counter-Reformation after the Protestant Reformation had broken up the kingdom. Now, the Counter-Reformation is to make sure that the Protestant Reformation didn't work, all right, so that they would gain back its Catholic kingdom. Now, they formed what they call the Illuminati, the Vatican, because the Vatican is the Illuminati. I've said that 1,000 times over. You can watch the Beyonce Part 2 video to get all the information on that. You can also watch the Serena Williams video to get all the info on that. The Vatican is the Illuminati. Don't be confused. All right? A lot of people don't know that. Like I've said before on a lot of videos, the reason why it works that way is because the system of world power designed by the Vatican works by diversion and compartmentalization. All right. People don't know who or what the other person is doing, or who or what the other person is. There's a reason for it. Okay. So that's the way it works. The Vatican doesn't want you to know that it is the power structure. What they want you to think of them is that they're just one of the many power structures. I've showed that in a couple of so many videos. And like I've always said, it's not the Jews. The Vatican put the Jews up there. All right? They put them in places of authority and power. So when you go looking for who actually runs things, if you're a very good investigator, what you arrive at is the Jews. It doesn't stop there. All right? The reason why you arrive at the Jews because you're not asking so many other logical questions. Like, what's the reason for NASA? If you're Jewish, I thought the practice of being Jewish was to worship a god or so-called god. What have you got to do with NASA? These are simple logical questions. And other questions, like I've shown you in the 25-point plan that they had, was that they ought to remain behind the scenes. They are not to be revealing themselves. So if everybody knows that it's the Jews, that means they are not behind the scenes. I can show you from this 25-point plan already. And let me actually show you where it says that here. And so here it is, what I intend to show you. It says from the 6th point on the 25-point plan, it says, remain invisible until the very moment when it has gained such strength that no cunning or force can undermine it. So the question you need to ask, are the Jews invisible? Everybody knows it's the Jews. So right there and then, that shows you that you've been misled. You've been taught. You've been diverted to think wrongly. So that's how the system of world power which the Vatican has set up is meant to work. So a lot of people will know that there is something wrong with the world. They know the organizations that have something to do with it. But when they go investigating, what they see are Jews. So automatically you think they're Jews. And like I've said before, being Jewish is not an ethnicity. It's a religion. It's just like somebody practicing Christianity or someone calling themselves a Muslim. It is a religion. It's not an ethnicity. So you people need to understand that being Jewish just means that you're practicing the 5 books of the law of Moses, the 5 books of the Torah. All right, that's all what it means. And in most cases, these people are not even practicing the 5 books of Moses. They're actually practicing what they call Talmudic Judaism or Babylonian Judaism. That means the kind of Judaism when the children of Israel were taken away into Babylon, according to the Bible, when they came back, they didn't just bring back the law of Moses with them, they brought another form of Talmudic Judaism, because most of the books they had were lost. So what they had was people who gave them oral traditions, and these people who gave them oral traditions added so many other things into it. And when they came out from Babylon, right, when the children of Judah, which were the only people who returned into the Israelite kingdom at the time of Christ, when they came out, they came out with Talmudic, all right, Judaism, a lot of them, including the so-called people who were Samaritans as well. Okay, so that is what Jews really are. So I don't have time to go into too much explanations about that. What I intend to show you, like I said earlier, is the fact that there is so much terrorism in our world, and all terrorism points to the Vatican. They are the ones instigating all this, and that's why I'm showing you from the 25-point plan here that the number one point in the Counter-Reformation to take back the Roman Catholic kingdoms that they had lost, all right, during the Reformation, the Protestant Reformation, in now what they call the New World Order. The number one point plan was to use violence, as I'm reading here, use violence and terrorism rather than academic discussions. If you want to read more about this, you can pause the video and copy out that link as you're following my mouse. Copy that out, paste it in your browser, and you'll get to this link. And you will see that they use violence and terrorism rather than academic discussions. Now, for the uneducated and uninitiated into thinking about stuff, they might wonder why terrorism has to be used. Because terrorism and violence is fear propaganda. Remember, like I said, in order for you to control someone, you have to control their mind. If you can't control someone's mind, you can't control that person. Now, fear is used as a tool of control to control your mind. Why is that? I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you wake up early in the morning and there's a forecast that it's going to rain. All right? Because you have that forecast and you know it's going to rain, you're going to act accordingly to the rain, that it's going to rain. You're probably going to go and buy a raincoat if you didn't have one, or buy an umbrella. See how the fear of rain is controlling your actions? You're probably going to drive, or you're probably going to go to work early. All right? So you can drive home before the rain starts if you know the actual time that is supposed to rain. You're going to drive slowly if you're in the rain. The rain is controlling your actions, the fear of it. Or you're going to want to call off from work. The rain, the fear of rain is controlling your actions. So that's how fear works. Because once you're afraid, you can be controlled. And how are they going to control you? By passing laws and certain things to bind you to the New World Order, bind you to the Vatican and the devil, so you can go to hell and the lake of fire with them. Because you have to understand that the Vatican is not just doing these things out of the ordinary. They're led by Satan himself and his cohort of demons. And there's a reason for all of this happening. Because it's more like when you plant crops, all right, and there are weeds. For you to actually know the difference between the weeds and the real crops you're planting, they have to be mature. Because if you go harvesting the crops before it's time or harvest, what's gonna happen is that you're gonna uproot the crops itself. So they both have to mature. So all this is feeding into the weeds, because there's gonna be a clear separation from those who know God and those who don't by all of this. There's a reason for it. That's the best way I can explain to you. Now, one other thing I wanted to touch on the subject before I get into Aly Raisman is because, like I said, this video is a continuation of the Shakira video and also a continuation of the Simone Biles video. So you need to watch those two preceding videos before you get to this one. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring this up to you is because I had said in the other video that there is no such thing as the rapture. And I intend to show you where this deluded preaching of the rapture comes in, which is actually a Vatican Jesuit, mind teaching, all right, and bending the Bible in such a way that people don't understand it, and putting all these false ministers of God, these so-called pastors or great super pastors, it doesn't matter what their name is or what channel is, they are all frauds. Like I usually say, anytime you see someone on TV, you have to know that he's a fraud. Because like I've said before, TV is like a house. You don't let anybody just come into your house until you know who he is, until he's a vetted person. Somebody just doesn't come into your house and go through your house and go through your fridge and go through your rooms without you knowing the person. It has to be a family or friend or someone you know. So anybody on TV is exactly doing the same thing. These are vetted people. These are people they know. Don't worry about all the shenanigans of it seems like they're truth seekers or telling you stuff or telling you some sort of form of truth. Every scam that has to work has to involve some sort of lie. You can see through lies. Or sorry, I mean it has to involve truth. Every scam has to involve an element of truth. Otherwise, you can see through it. The truth is not there for you to know the truth. The truth is made to make you believe the lies. So you can actually believe the lie they're going to tell you. So when you see anybody on TV, even your YouTube truth seeker or truth speaker who's on TV having some sort of meeting or having some sort of interview or conversation on TV, you have to know automatically that person is a paid agent, paid to deceive you. He's making money off you, making money deceiving you. That's what you have to know. So if you happen to see me on TV, they say tricks of the S trade. This is the so-called tricks of the S trade. He's having an interview on whatever channel, as long as it's in the media, mainstream media, social media, whatever. You have to know that I have been vetted. I have been bought. So you no longer have to watch or listen to anything I tell you. Please take note of that. So now, if you've watched, there's a continuation of the Shakira video and the Simone Biles video. What I intend to show you is where the actual meaning, where these people get the rapture from. Because if you read through the whole Bible, you will never see the word rapture. It is not there. You will never see the spelling R-A-P-T-U-R-E in there. There is no such thing as a rapture in the Bible. So how can we be preaching about or talking about stuff that doesn't exist? Does it make any sense to you? There is no such thing as a rapture in the Bible. You won't see it. You won't see the literal meaning of R-A-P-T-U-R-E, rapture. It doesn't exist. Now, where they get this sudden rapture from, when the great deceivers try to deceive you with the word rapture, those great Bible people you see on TV, is taken from 1 Thessalonians, right? Chapter 4, all right? And I'm going to read to you, let me see where actually I'm going to read. Okay, I'm going to read from verse 16, all right, of the King James Bible. I said King James Bible. You can also read it from the Geneva Bible. Those are the only two Bibles I do recommend for that you study. The rest is nonsense. Now, the King James Bible is mostly promoted by the Vatican because it doesn't contain the notes that the Geneva Bible had, which predates it. So I would even suggest a stronger note that you read the Geneva Bible. You have it. So I'm going to read this portion from where the rapture comes from in today's so-called preaching, so you understand and see that this is nothing. It's got nothing to do with the rapture. The word rapture does not even exist in the Bible. Okay, I'm going to read this now. It says, "For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Yehoshua shall rise first." Okay? then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up. This is where the so-called rapture comes from. Caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so we shall ever be with the Lord. But if you've read with me as I've read that, you will see that it says, you shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. It didn't say you're going to heaven. Now, if you go and use the Bible concordance, all right, which actually explains what it means to be caught up. If you read the Bible concordance, the word caught up there is from a Greek word called hapazo. And hapazo means to catch away, up, pluck up, pull by force, catch up, take by force, catch away, pluck, catch. It means to catch someone. To catch someone doesn't mean that you're going to heaven. It's a rapture. It just means you get caught. It's just like you're falling down and someone catches you, or you're trying to slip and someone holds you so you don't fall. That's just what it means. And you say, meet the Lord in the air. That's what it says. That's all what it means. There is no rapture. You've been sucked into believing it because, like I've stated in the Shakira video, and I say that again here. When God destroyed the world during the time of Noah, Noah was saved and his family. He wasn't raptured. When God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, Lot was saved from it. He wasn't raptured. The only two people which the Bible states which were taken up to heaven was Enoch and Elijah. If this was something that God intended to do all the time, he would carry a whole bunch of people. So you would know, when God wanted to save the children of Israel from the destruction of Egypt, he took them out. He took them out, or made them to label their doorposts with blood, so that the angel would pass on and kill the firstborn of Egypt, but they would be saved. God doesn't rapture people. All right? You have to get that. The Vatican put this teaching in so that you keep looking out, thinking that you're going to get raptured, so you don't know what's going on around you. If you get raptured, that means you are dead. You're going to the lake of fire, because that's what's going to happen. So there is no such thing as rapture, as I've showed you from where this particular portion of they say rapture comes in from. You don't see the word rapture in there. Okay? So don't get confused with all this rapture nonsense. Go study this for yourself and see. All right. So with that said, we want to get into the subject of Aly Raisman. And before we get into Aly Raisman, I'm going to play a short clip so you actually see where a female's hips sat, so that she can give birth, because of the wide pubic arch that a female has, which is 120 degrees or more. All right. So I'm going to play the short clip. I'm going to go to a document, then we come back and do Aly Raisman. As you can see, this is a female. As you can see, she's flaring downwards, because that's what usually females are. The widest portion on a female in her body is usually her hips. A woman's shoulders can be wider than her hips. That's a fact. But it wouldn't change the fact that she's going to have a wider pubic arch than that of a male, which is 120 degrees or more, so that a baby can come in. It would change the fact that the widest point towards her torso, downwards towards torso, will be the hips. And she will have a very acute angle. It won't change that fact. So you're going to see how a female's hips is measured here. So I keep playing. So the tape goes around the widest point. This is how a female's clothes are measured anywhere, standard in the world. Without this, females wouldn't be able to fit into their clothes, whether pants or dresses. I keep playing. The tape goes around. This lady's going to turn around so you can actually see where the widest point is at. And it's always just below the bum line, but below the crotch, because the female pelvis is tilted forward. So this butt is sticking, its stick is going up. All right. The butt is moved up because the pelvis of a female is tilted forward so that the baby can stay inside the womb and not drop out. Men have straight pelvises. Okay, so let's get back into our document to show you some more stuff. A female always has an arch in her back. That arch is going to be shaped like a C. There's a reason why I keep saying that. So if a man tries to arch his back by wearing heels and standing in an awkward stance, all right, one leg forward or one leg backward or backwards, or trying to contour the body, you would see that the arch is not going to be a C-shaped arch. It's gonna be an L or awkward. It's gonna be harsh lines. All right. So female always has an arch in the back, a C-shaped arch. Depending on where you draw the arch from, it can be an S or a C. A female always has an arch in the back because it needs extra support for the weight of carrying children. So she doesn't have problems walking and won't hurt the baby. And because the pelvis is also tilted forward. Okay, a man's back does not arch. Men have straight backs. If a man's back has to arch, it's gonna arch outside like a P or a D, but it's gonna go straight into the pelvis. All right, these are the two requisites required. If a woman is gonna have children, she has to have an arch in her back. I've never seen a woman without an arch in her back, except she's old and 90 years and walking with a cane, or she has some problem with her back. But besides that, a female, a regular female, will always have an arch in her back. So I'm going to go down the doc. This is a document advice that you should always have handy so you can know and see these visual differences. My document is loading them a little bit slowly. So a female always has an arch in her back. The arch is going to be a C-shaped arch in there. A woman's back will always arch more than a man in whatever way she tries to twist. If she bends, you're going to see that back bend more than that of a man. All right. I'm going to scroll down the document just to show you it doesn't matter about if the female is a small lady, a big lady, or whatever the case might be. A female's back will always have an arch, like I'm showing you right here. A small female to my right and a big female to my left. And you can see there's an arch in the back, a C-shaped arch, and a tilted pelvis forward. All right. Those are the defining features between male and female. One is designed to give birth and the other is not. It doesn't matter if the female has muscles, muscular female, she'll always have an arch in that back. Muscular female, always an arch in that back. So with that comparison, we'll come back to this video of showing you where the hips at, because it's what we're going to do, make a comparison with Aly Raisman. So we go into the pictures of Aly Raisman. As you can see Aly Raisman right here, right? I want you to take a good look at how narrow that pubic arch is. That is the pubic arch of a male. It's very narrow. And where are the hips at? Can you see the comfort zone on where Aly Raisman? Even the name, like I said earlier, says Raisman. And I actually heard that Aly Raisman is a Jew. I think I've looked it up before and they say it is Jew. So that's going to show you people that being Jewish is not an ethnicity, it's a religion. So some people say the Jews don't do transgenders or don't transgender their children. This is going to be proof positive fact that these people are not of God. They are not what they claim to be. Don't be misled by it. It's the Vatican that controls all of this. Look at the comfort zone of Aly Raisman and where those hands are at the hips. And where's the widest point on this female, the supposed female? It's none, because this is a man, and the widest point is going to be above the crotch because this is a man, which I'll show you in a minute. Okay, another picture. Look at how wide the neck is. Now this is a subjective fact. Okay, subjective, but the wide neck is always used to support the definitive of a straight back that I'm going to show you and hips above the crotch. But the neck is too wide because males have larger skulls. Men have 10% more brain matter than a female. And like I've always said, when you're measuring the skulls, you have to take account of the ethnicity of the person, because black people have heavier skulls than every other ethnicity. So you have to compare skulls with like people of the same ethnicity. All right. and you have to take account of the height of the person and the weight of the person when you're making that comparison. So men usually have larger skulls because the man's brain is 10% more brain matter. It has more cranial space. And it's normally in architectural design, if you have something heavy on top, you have to have a wide enough support base to support the heavy skull. So that's why men have wider necks. And that's why men have more developed trapezius muscles to support the long breadth or length of the shoulders. All right? And like I've said before, nothing can change the skeletal structure of a person because it's stamped at conception. Every other thing you do is cosmetic. The skeletal structure is never going to change. Doesn't matter what butt implant they get, you can't put butt implants and make the hip of a man to be below his crotch. It's not possible. Even when the fat distribution attaches itself to the bones. That's how fat works. It attaches itself to the bones. So if you don't have your bone is above your crotch, you cannot have it below it. It's not going to work. No matter how round you're going to make it look, the fat deposition will stick at the most angular or widest portions in the body. All right? So let's go further with some more pictures. And here's Aly Raisman. And what do you see? A straight back. See, it's straight right here. There's no arch. See this where it terminates? It's straight down into the pelvis because this is a dude. All right? This is a man, not a woman. That's why you can't make role models of people and fall in love with people you see on TV because you don't know who they are. Showing some more pictures again. And look at Aly Raisman. Where are the widest points on those hips? Where is it? See how narrow this pubic arch is? Because this is a dude. And where are the hands comfortable at? They're comfortable at where my hands would be. This is where I would put my hands on my waist if I'm a dude. I'm not saying that a man can't put his hands anywhere he wants on his body, but your body's not going to be at rest. It's not going to be comfortable. But here is a dude right here putting hands on. Intend to show you some more pictures. And here is the picture of note. Where is the widest point on Aly Raisman's hips? It's right there above the crotch. Can you see that? Right there above the crotch. Above it. Above. Not below as this female is right here. See where this female's point is right here? Below the crotch. Aly Raisman above. Make it even clearer so you see. Where is the widest point? Where is the widest point? Above the crotch, not below it. Okay, some more pictures. And here's Aly Raisman. And someone's going to look at this and say, this is a female. This is a man. Raise a man on testosterone. Or sorry, on estrogen. Making it look like feminine. And someone's going to be fantasizing about this. You can't be making fantasies of people you see on TV because you don't know who they are. This is a man. Okay, some more pictures. A man in clothes. You can see how long the arms are and how wide the neck is with makeup and earrings. With estrogen implanted breast, and you think this is female. Look at how huge the hands are because this is a man. Some more pictures. Same picture again. Where is the widest point on Aly Raisman's hips? Can someone show me that? It's above the crotch, not below it. The widest point is right there, above the crotch, because this is male. All right, some more pictures. And look at that. Straight back. See that? It's straight right there. There is no arch. Straight right there. Because this is a man. And it's almost nude. And someone is going to look at this and say, oh, this is a female. I love Aly Raisman. You better not be falling in love with people on TV because you don't know who they are. All right? Some more pictures. Here's Aly Raisman. And this one I'm going to blow up so you can see as much as I can. All right? I'm going to blow it up as much as I can. Where is the widest point on Aly Raisman's hips? All right? Where is it? Let me blow this up again because I wanted to take the whole screen so you leave you no doubts. Where is the widest point right here? It's above the crotch. See that? Above the crotch. Above it. It's not below because this is a man. Look at the female on my left. Right? See that again? Look at the female on my left. Where is the widest point on this female? Below the crotch because that's a female. Where's the widest point on Aly Raisman right here? See that? See where the Q angle starts right there? The Q angle is the angle between the hip and the knee. See where the Q angle starts? Above the crotch, not below it, like a female should be, because this is a man. All right. Okay, and this is another picture. Look at that. A man in makeup. All right. Trying to deceive you. That is female. Look at how wide the neck is. Look at how straight the back is. And it's supposedly teasing you by covering up its fake estrogen bloated boobs. So you think it's female. That's why you can't fall in love with anything you and anybody. Don't make role models of anybody you see on TV. You don't know who they are. It's trying to tease you like it's a woman when it's actually a dude. Now, I would have some sort of pity because, like I've said, the Vatican does this to young kids, and I would say Aly Raisman is also a kid. But he's reached the age of adulthood, of consent, in which he should say, I'm tired of this. I am a man, I'm going to live like one and tell the whole world the truth. But it is what it is, and there's nothing we can do about it. And so with that, I come to the end of today's presentation. I hope you learned something. And if you don't like the video, like I said, don't leave any comments. Don't leave. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. You don't like something, you're still making a comment about it. Right? It doesn't make any sense. If you go watch movies in a red box, you don't go looking around for the producer and telling them what they did wrong with the video and how they didn't say some stuff right or didn't present it right. You're tired. Just leave it and go home. Leave it and go home. And channel rules are still in effect. You label someone a transgender, you have to come with the defining features that distinguish between male and female, in that the female skeletal structure is designed to give birth and the male is not. All right? It's still in effect. And I hope you learned something. And I just want to thank the good subscribers. Like I've said, our channel is dedicated, right, to giving you real information and education. I'm not in here for the number of subscribers. I'm not in there for that. So I don't really care about the number. All I care about is people who are dedicated to the truth, who want truth, who live for it, who are trying to deprogram themselves from all the filth and nonsense they've watched from other YouTube channels out there, who are actual disinfo agents, who's been confusing people with index fingers, jaw lines, and subjective facts that don't define anything. The subjective facts supports the definitive. The definitive does not support the subjective. That's the way logic works. All right? So thank you, stay tuned and subscribe. And I leave you with these words. Look with your eyes and see with your brain. Thanks and bye-bye.